Welcome, welcome. How is everybody? Here. We're here, right?
Yes.
You know what? I always say showing up is 90%. So in whatever capacity you have shown up, wherever you are today, A. You got an A. Not that we're keeping track. Okay. Just a quick reminder, we've got stickers for the kiddos and their class, which is in that other building, which is also where the restrooms are. How about let's get started with some music. Here we go. And you are free to stand or to sit, whatever you need this morning. There's nothing worth more that could ever come close. Nothing can compare. No more living all alone. Your presence. I've tasted and seen of the sweetest of loves, where my heart becomes free and my shame is undone. Your presence, Holy Spirit, you are welcome here. Come flood this place and fill the atmosphere. Your glory, God, is what our hearts long for. To be overcome by your presence, God. Your presence, Lord. Oh, there's nothing worth more that will ever come close. Nothing can compare. You're our living hope. Your presence, I've tasted and seen of the sweetest of love, where my heart becomes free and my shame is undone. Your presence, Holy Spirit, you are welcome. Come flood this place, fill the atmosphere. Your glory, God, is what our hearts long for. To be overcome your presence, Lord. Amen. So if you are a little new around here, you may have noticed sometimes we change a few words in our songs. Just a few, it's fine. Like, it's cool, right? There's a good reason why we do this. The main reason is a lot of these songs that we love, there's some room to widen the circle. And by changing just a few words, we can do that. But we have a lot of people in here with a lot of backgrounds, a lot of different experiences and hurts and traumas. And my hope and our hope today is that whatever of that you've walked in with, you find a safe place here. And personally, I hope that starts with the music and the words that we sing. So we'll continue. Let the peace in my heart be the mountain where I climb, the fountain I drink from. Oh, it is my song. Let the peace in my heart be the shadow where I hide, the compass for my life. Oh, it is my song. And you are good. You're good. Oh, you are good. Good. Oh, you are good. You're good. Oh, you are good. You're good. Let the love in my heart be the wind inside my strength, the anchor in the waves. Oh, it is my song. Let the love in my heart be the fire inside my legs. Oh, the echo of my legs. Oh, you are my song. You are good. You're good. You're never gonna let me down. 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 Oh, you're never gonna let me down. 'Cause you are good. You're good. Oh, you are good. You're good. Oh, You're good. And when the night is holding on to me, God is holding on. When the night is holding on to me, God is holding on. God, how beautiful your holy word, that full the world in such goodness. And oh, the shame that we would turn it on to turn and fall into darkness. And God will see how through your Son you turn this lost and hurt into glory. And how when scorned as you raise him up, his gaze become the whole story. Little things rise and bless your name. All things behind and new again. Oh, beauty God, your goodness is free and boundless, is rich and endless to this road is every step we take. Your faithfulness is our portion. You prepare a city bright and fair, whose gates forever stay open. And Son of God, in you we've taken up the way of love's occupation. All things once sown in weakness, you raised in promise. Your beauty arches above it all. Oh, love, you gave yourself a home. Heaven and earth forever. All things once sown in weakness, you raised in promise. Your beauty arches above it all. Amen. You may be seated.
Beautiful. Yes. Makes you want to clap. Thank you. Yeah.
Can I also? No. I was gonna say I kind of. Never mind. No. I had a weird thing about clapping after songs, killing a vibe.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
So sometimes you don't know what to do.
Which
but
I realized
clap.
I just did.
Sometimes something's just so good. You're just like, oh. It's good. Okay. Believe it or not, that's happened to me after sermons. Sometimes people just can't help themselves. So we are halfway through our Lenten Alms Love in Motion sermon series. Speaking of sermons, if you ever wonder how we come up with those, how we write them, I can't say for Jonathan or Kyndall or Brandon or anyone else who's preached here, but for me, it involves a lot of sitting there until something pops into your brain. And so as I was reflecting on this communion moment, I did the same thing. I sat there until something popped into my brain. And what popped into my brain was a memory of being in high school, also probably junior high and high school, in my room, late at night, reading my Bible, and just lamenting because I wanted to be a normal teenager. Like I wanted to go out and party. I wanted to get into potential trouble or relationships of whatever sort, or like I wanted to not care and to be like all my peers. But now I look back and I'm like, okay, I was definitely just like highly sensitive, highly feeling. Those situations were overstimulating and overwhelming to me. And I wasn't drawn to them, but I also was like, I was a popular kid. I had friends, I had social, I knew how to be socially. And so I would have like FOMO, but I didn't want to do those things. And some of that was also just the religious part, like wanting to do right by God, wanting to please God, wanting to just be quote unquote good. And I just remember feeling like, why do I care so much? Why can't I just be like the others and not care? And that popped into my brain as I was thinking about this communion. I was like, what was that? And it made me realize that lately, in these times, I have been feeling that way again. I have just been wishing that I just maybe didn't care so much, Like I look around on the landscape of social media or like acquaintances, that just perception, I can't really know how they're feeling or doing, but I'm just like really jealous of people that seem to just be like good to go. They're just like doing well and life is normal and good. And I don't feel that way, and I wish I could, and I wish I could just not care sometimes. Why is this what's coming up for me when I think about love in motion? I think that what I came to was our whole community is kind of like this. We are people who just care, and we're all very different. We care about different things upset us or stress us out, different things enrage us, different things impassion us. Like they're different things, but I can just feel in this community like I'm in a place or I'm not like a total weirdo. Like the people around me also feel a similar way and a similar level of care about what happens in the world. And I think this might be what connects me with you, what connects us with each other, even with all our differences and nuances in mind. So for me, this is what it means though, for our love to be in motion, right? This is what it means for our love to be active. We care and we seek embodied responses together, and we change and we evolve as we gather new information. We also rest and play, and we hold all of this in tender balance. And the best part is we don't do it alone. And Lent, this is why I love Lent. Lent reminds me of this not aloneness, because it's this collective season. And this is why I love communion. Communion reminds me of this not aloneness. And each of you remind me of this not aloneness. And somehow that community, like food and drink, like bread and cup, if you will, is just enough sustenance, enough manna to carry me as I hold all these cares close, knowing you do as well. And so I want to invite you in this moment, this communion moment. Let's start with the liturgy. I'll read the regular print. You can respond in the bowl. We'll pray. We'll walk together and have our communion. God is within you.
God is also within you.
Lift up your hearts.
Join in the beloved community.
Let us give thanks for the blessing of life.
Together we raise our voices in gratitude.
Pray with me. God, thank you for always reminding me that there are many, many gifts in caring. Not just burdens, but gifts. Help us to continue to support each other as we seek to be people who put our love in motion. Amen. Great is the mystery of faith. Christ was raised from death. I think everyone knows we start at the front, go to the back, understand sanitizer. Maybe someone could, maybe it's a kiddo. Yeah, I see some kiddos grabbing it. And the bread is all gluten-free, so you can dip it into the cup, receive that blessing, and thank you for being community here.
Where can I go from your presence? Where can I run from your spirit? Lead me there. Spirit, lead me there. Where can I go from your presence? Where can I hide from your spirit? You find me there. Spirit, you find me there. From the highest heights to the lowest low, from the mountain top to the valley below, you need me here. Spirit, you need me here. You don't walk out when I threaten to. You are steady when I can't be still. You are fighting, and you always will. You don't give up, even when I do. You don't walk out when I threaten to. You are steady when I can't be still. You are fighting, and you always will. From the highest high to the lowest low, from the mountain top to the valley below, in the darkest night, though I try to hide, even there your light shines bright like the morning. Oh, you meet me here. Spirit, you meet us here. Always embracing, never rejecting. Your kindness draws us near. Oh, you meet us here. Spirit, you lead us here. Always embracing, never rejecting. Your kindness draws us near. Oh, you lead us here. All right, kiddos. Come on, come on.
Good morning, everybody. I'm so glad y'all are here today. You want to know something crazy? The last time I was here, I had a baby in my belly still, and now he's out. He's over there. I didn't know that, like 12 hours later, he decided he was ready to come to the world. Isn't that exciting? We have a new peace kid, the youngest. He's a month old today. Okay. I know. Carly said we already know. I guess so. All right, so I'm so happy I'm here today. Oh, I lost my place already. Okay, so some of you may or may not know that right now we are in what's called the Lenten season. Lent lasts for 40 days and that leads us into Easter. So for a lot of people in faith communities, Lent is a time of prayer and reflection and fasting. Do you know what fasting means? I've been doing a lot of fasting, gestational diabetes. So fasting is when you give something up. So like if in the I did have to give up sweet tea. Yes, I did. Thank you. So fasting is when you give something up or you sacrifice it, and medical things is where you don't eat for a while, right? Jesus did some fasting. So maybe food or an activity. You may have heard people talk about what they're giving up for Lent. And some faith traditions is a really big deal. Growing up, I had friends that did this, and they were about giving up chocolate or soda or even TV. Can you imagine, for 40 days of Lent? I'm right there with you. But as I was thinking about what I wanted to share with you guys, you peace kids, you beautiful, wonderful, whole children, I didn't really want to talk about giving things up, but I thought maybe we could talk about adding things in for the next couple of weeks. So what if, for the next couple of weeks, we added in some extra kindness to our day? What if you decided to invite someone who needs a friend to play with you at recess or to sit with you at lunch? Somebody that maybe typically gets left out or doesn't have a friend. Hold on just a second. What if, instead of joining in when someone's being laughed at or made fun of, you stood up for them? What if for the next couple of weeks we added in more service or helping? Maybe by asking your grown-up what you can do to be a helper. Or maybe we challenge ourselves to find someone or find something that needs to be done and do it without first having to be asked. When I think about making the world a better place and how you kids of peace can be a part of that right now in your own circles, at school or in your home, I think of all the things that you can add. So while there are lessons to be learned from fasting and sacrifice, I think maybe what our communities need more of is what you bring to it. So this week, as most of you are returning to school from having a glorious week of spring break, I want you to go back with your eyes open to see what you can add to your day to show love and light to the people around you. Okay, peace kids, go to the back and meet an adult. I don't know, find an adult with a peace shirt on. This back. Find a safe adult, don't just go with an old adult. Assistant principal, sorry, I'm all about safety.
Where's my jingle lady?
Really interviewing today. Oh. Did you used to be a lurker? We want to get to know you. It's time for a look.
Did you? This is the best
Do you
part.
want to know? Did you used to be a lurker?
Or did you just come? Okay, we'll find out. We'll find out. Here, you come get in the center. This is Marcus. Marcus, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you.
My name is Marcus. I was just thinking when they were doing the kids talk. Why does fasting sometimes seem to go so slow? But yeah, so my name is Marcus. I have I'm originally from South Texas, but my parents moved us up here to North Austin, Cedar Park in '78. So I consider myself pretty much an Austinite. It's the only place I've known. I guess when people ask me, what to tell them about myself, my first and favorite thing to say is I'm a grandfather of 5 lovely grandchildren, 4 daughters, and the first grandson was born 6 months ago. And my oldest is right here. She's 12. So it's been exciting. And, and it's one of the most wonderful things that I've experienced in my life. Fun things? Oh, a fun fact. Yeah. I was talking about this with my wife last night, and she said, "What are you going to say when about the topic of, tell us something about something, that nobody would know about you?" And I thought, I was having a difficult time. What can I say that's not going to possibly traumatize or scare the children? But they're gone now. But anyway, so she reminded me that on our honeymoon, we had a really fun, adventurous event. We hiked across a cooled lava field of an erupting volcano, hiked about 2 miles across a cooled lava field to where the hot lava was flowing. And we were able to stand within 5 feet of the flowing lava. And that was a lot of fun. Wow. That was our honeymoon in 2017.
So you shared that was your court. Was that your court? Was that your court?
Oh, glad.
Well, not a court, sorry. Was that the thing? That was the second question. Okay. can you tell us, I'm adding things in, sorry. Can you tell us about Jessica? I feel like that's a fun fact.
Jessica.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, just, people don't know the story.
Even I'm a little, vague on the story, but yeah, so Jessica is my stepdaughter, Jennifer's daughter, and that's how we ended up here. Jessica used to do childcare for Peace of Christ, is that correct? Yeah, yeah. And so Jennifer had mentioned this church to me for quite a few years, and we finally made it out. I think it was, COVID sort of kept us away from, in-person meetings. But yeah, so we finally decided to come out, and I'm very happy I did. I love you all so much. And from the first moment I walked through the doors and met you guys, I felt at home. And it's been a beautiful experience, and I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah, we can clap. It's like a yawn. Your body just needs to do it sometimes. We are so happy to have y'all here. I do have one more question, but I just wanted to tell the whole church he has a truck. I found out this morning he has a truck. We always need a truck, and no one ever has one for some reason, some correlation with the progressive community. I don't know. But I'm just so excited. Anyways, so last question. Tell us something that's just giving you passion or joy right now in life.
Okay, so other than the obvious, my family being involved with you guys, when I meet people for the first time, a lot of times they'll ask me, so what do you do? And I know what they're asking. They're asking, what do I do for work, right? But I always like to throw them off a little bit by telling them the things I like to do. I like to hike. I like to be in the outdoors. I enjoy finding interesting things and historical artifacts. And it just so happens that I'm very grateful that is exactly what I do for work. So I end up getting around to that and saying, I'm a land surveyor by profession. And so every day I feel blessed to go to work and go on adventures and hike through the woods and through creeks and ranches and visit sites and places that nobody has seen in possibly 100 years. Yeah. Did that answer your question?
Yes, it did. Thank you so much. We hope to continue getting to know you and Jennifer. We're so happy you're part of the community. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me.
Good morning. I am not David, but as you know, David is also a chaplain and got called in this morning. So I'll be filling in, but if you would join me in the Lenten liturgy, you'll find it in the insert in your guide, or it will be up on the screen as well. I will read the regular print. Join me in the bold or highlighted text. Divine Creator, when you first stirred the waters and breathed into the soil of the earth,
All life was able to flourish.
From birth to death, there was enough. Creatures and creation lived in cooperation. The land, the water, the animals, the people, all part of the family of God. But as evil and greed permeated the hearts of humanity, so began the interruption of love's natural rhythms. We danced ourselves from our creaturely neighbors and began to see the land as little more than fields of profit. We have made ourselves stranger to our own home, neglecting the wild in us, forgetting our place among the whole of things. Renew us, O God, to right relationship with the earth. With our own bodies born from soil and water, with our neighbors who bear the worst consequences of our consumption and negligence. May we be the ones who mend what has been destroyed, who confront the power who blunder and leave barren, who desires transformation of our own hearts and practices, that life's abundance may be restored upon the earth, and all creatures and creations may rest in your care. Amen.
I'll be reading from the prophet Isaiah, 55th chapter. Part of this passage is a passage that Christian nationalists like to use to justify their lust for power. And it's one of the passages, frankly, that's sometimes weaponized in fundamentalist circles. There's a verse that says, God's ways are higher than your ways. And that's used to justify all sorts of spiritual abuse. So just know, Kyndall's not going to use it in any of those ways. And that's a good thing. So if you were hoping that that was going to be the case, sorry. Hear these words now from the prophet Isaiah, chapter 55. I'm reading from the inclusive translation. All you who are thirsty, come to the water. You who have no money, come, buy food and eat. Come, buy wine and milk without money, without price. Why spend your money for what is not bread, your wages for what fails to satisfy? Heed me, and you will eat well. You will delight in rich fare. Bend your ear and come to me. Listen, that you may have life. I will make an everlasting covenant with you, in fulfillment of the blessings promised to David. See, I have made of you to be a witness to the peoples, a leader and commander of the nations. See, you will summon nations you never knew, and nations that never knew you will come hurrying to you for the sake of Yahweh, the Holy One of Israel, who will glorify you. Seek me, Yahweh, while I may still be found. Call upon me while I am near. Let the corrupt abandon their ways, the evil their thoughts. Let them return to Yahweh, and I will have mercy on them. Return to God, not your thoughts, nor are your ways my ways, says Yahweh. As high as the heavens are above the earth, so high are my ways above your ways, and my thoughts above your thoughts. We hear the voice of God through these words.
Hey, wonder how your morning is going. I just dropped. Hello? Okay. I just dropped the other mic, the recording mic, on the ground, and it broke. I'm so sorry, David. we think Jonathan fixed it. Layla and I also dropped an entire tub of orange juice inside the trailer that splattered everywhere. So I hope your morning is going well. Okay, so I want you to imagine for a moment that we're not at church right now. Instead, we're on a walk in the park. Or maybe we've just chosen the comfy chairs in the corner of your favorite coffee shop. Or maybe a small group of us are hanging out in someone's living room. When I ask, hey, how are you? But before you can answer, I say, wait, don't tell me yet. I'm going to read you a poem first. And you're like, okay, that's weird, but sure. We've hung out enough at this point that you're not surprised by my weird quirks. So I pull this poem out of my pocket by Larson Langston, titled, I'm Fine, and I read. If you really want to know how a person is doing, Hold the space after they've finished the lie. I'm fine. Let the silence settle, heavy but gentle, like a hand on the small of the back. Let it be loved, the pause, the crack, the trembling truth that sits just behind their eyes. Catch them there as their gaze darts upward, as if asking permission to be real. The thing about I'm fine is it's both true and not, a measure against some hidden scale. Fine compared to disaster. Fine compared to the shame of being a burden. Fine because the world has taught us that sorrow is unseemly, that complaint is weakness, that vulnerability is a door better left closed. How often has it been safe to speak the language of our aching hearts? How often has it been met with disregard, disrespect, or worse, the fragile plaster of sympathy? Empathy, real and raw, an open ear bent toward the sound of breaking. That's rarer than we'd like to admit. So when I ask, how are you? Do me the honor of your truth. Even if it's halting, even if it's messy, even if it feels like too much. Because what we steal from the world and from those who do or might love us when we withhold the tender soil of our truth is possibility. The chance for roots to meet. And yes, it's okay to be fine. There is a time and place for that testament. But maybe, just maybe, one day, let the words beneath your skin rise. Let them stretch and break the surface. Let them spill, woven into a response deeper, truer, like the threads of a tapestry longing to be seen. And so, my friends, I want to know, how are you? Like for realsies. Since we're not actually in the privacy of a coffee shop or a living room, you don't have to answer out loud right now. But if you sit with the question for a moment, I wonder what comes up for you. How am I really? I'm gonna hold some awkward silence so you have a minute to think about it. You're probably fine, maybe. You're probably also not fine, somewhere beneath the surface, if I were to venture a guess. How do I know? Probably because nearly everyone I talk to is worried about something right now. Will my federal job be cut? Will I lose Medicaid for my kid? Will the student loan program go away? Will I be able to access gender-affirming care? Will my kids still receive the accommodations they need in school? What if things go south with my pregnancy? Will I be able to get medical care without fear of being penalized or criminalized? Are we headed toward a recession? Do I still live in a democracy? Will my friend be deported? Do I need to get vaccinated for the measles? Am I safe? Will I be able to pay off my bills, ever afford a house? Will I lose the right to marry the person I love? Will there be a shooting at my kid's school this year? Is it safe to raise a daughter in Texas? Or maybe you're the type who likes to hyperfixate on the smaller worries. When can I afford to buy eggs again? I miss my omelets. Do I really have to stop saying the Gulf of Mexico? Will my favorite show get renewed for another season? At least for me, the smaller worries are usually just an outlet for my fear to land, when the bigger worries are just too much to bear. Whatever your personal concern, fear, or grief, I wonder if you are fine or not so much. In light of all that we are carrying collectively and individually, the opening of our Isaiah passage sounds way too good to be true. Hear, everyone who thirsts, come to the waters. You who have no money, come, buy and eat. Come, buy wine and milk without money and without price. Heck, that sounds too good to be true in like a normal year. So please tell me, Isaiah, where can I find this river where wine and food and milk and maybe even a carton of eggs are absolutely free? Where can I shop without money and have no need to check the price tags? I don't want this, Isaiah, to be a message about spiritual wealth, spiritual feasting. I would like something real I can sink my teeth into. Don't you? And then, as if to rub it in, Isaiah acts like the reason we aren't basking in this abundance is our own fault. You spend your money for that which is not bread, and your earnings for that which does not satisfy, he says. Listen carefully to me and eat what is good and delight yourselves in rich food. Now, clearly, Isaiah lived before the time of potato chips, sodas, and other processed delights where he would be more understanding. But since Isaiah did live before the advent of the culinary art of packaged foods, I don't actually think he's condemning our fast food or even gas station purchases. Not necessarily saying he would condone them either, although I'd like him to try a candy bar and let us know. All I'm saying is I think he's talking about something else. We could do a quick historical trip into the world of what ancient Israelites were most likely to waste money and resources on. But I'm not sure that's necessary to get his meaning. Let's start with the vision of what he thinks we could have, i.e. wine and milk and food without money or price. What fantasy world is Isaiah living in, and how do we enter it? Is it possible he's describing something, well, real? And if so, how? Layla and I went to see the new Snow White this weekend, and before the evil queen rises to power, everyone in the land thrives because everyone shares. But the queen, surprise, surprise, wants all the wealth and power for herself. So she steals and she hoards and she doesn't care who she hurts to get there. The Princess Snow White, it turns out, is the fairest of them all, not primarily because of her looks, but because she is actually fair. She wants a world in which everyone has enough and no one is left in need. And during one scene, she stops a fight between her friends. This is exactly what the queen wants, she tells them. If we fight each other, she wins. But if we can give up our meager scraps, we will inherit what was meant for all of us, an inheritance more than we could have imagined. Meanwhile, Layla is next to me in the theater, like, Mom, are you crying? Snow White preached my sermon, y'all. Because all week I've been thinking about whether there's ever been a time in my life when food and drink were free. And what I came up with is how many times just in the last year alone I've eaten dinner at the Stippick house without contributing anything. Or how often Lyle has handed me a perfectly crafted Manhattan, and never once have I tipped him. I eat and drink a lot of free food, in fact. Because I have a lot of friends. And also because almost all of them are better hosts than me, so I go to their house more often than mine as a general rule. But in all seriousness, I really think community is the source of Isaiah's vision. He's not talking about a magical land made of milk and honey for the taking. Because everyone knows you only reap what you didn't sow like that by taking with force and conquest. But in community, true community, there's an abundance when we all share. I think at least half of Layla's clothes and toys, if not more, were free to us because someone passed them down. Sarah O'Brien fixed my sprinkler this summer. Miles and Sharon hung pictures on my wall. Jonathan helped me piece together a bunk bed frame for the girls, a bunk bed that Rhonda and Jill picked up in their truck for me and hauled across several miles of Texas. Anna gave me a dresser she didn't need anymore, and several of you fill in often, so I'm not single parenting all the time. Some of you brought me soup when I was struggling with mono for months on end. And I know this sermon series is technically about almsgiving, but today I want to remind you that you are worthy of alms receiving. When you need the alms of others, the gifts of others, it's not because you're failing at adulthood. It's because you're human. And this is the way we were meant to exist. Recently, one of our community members was in financial need. And I listened in as Aurelia gave her almost the exact same speech she gave me about a year ago, when I found myself in a similar, seemingly desperate situation. This is what community is for. You're worthy of help, she said. And community isn't transactional. You're not worthy of being given $10 because you already gave $10 or because you will give $10. You're worthy because you exist. You're worthy because you belong to us. Your existence is already a gift to us. Maybe you gift us with your poetry or your sound bowls or your music or your humor or your creativity or your wisdom or your kindness or your ability to remember to move the slide forward on Sunday morning, which is a rare skill indeed. Maybe you can fix sprinklers. Maybe you give good hugs. Maybe you have a solid ministry of memes. It's not about the amount you can give or the quality or the frequency. It's not about productivity at all. It's about the fact that we are stronger and richer and wiser and funnier and happier and braver when we're in it together. The whole is greater than the sum of our parts. So today I'm not asking you what you can give for Lent. I'm asking you to honor what you already give. I'm asking you to come to the waters and eat and drink in abundance. I'm asking you to consider that maybe, just maybe, all that you give and have given is enough. Now, in the movie, after Snow White unites her friends so that they see the value they have in each other, she leads them in a coup to overtake the evil queen. So, there is more work to be done than just snuggling up together and sharing our potlucks. But for a minute, for a breath, for a holy and sacred pause, let's rest in what we have, even when evil reigns. Instead of freaking out about what on earth to do now, maybe reflect on all you have been doing, and then just do a little more of that. Because what you already give is good, and it's worthwhile, and it matters. It's also okay to reflect on how you could be more open to receiving what is being given to you. Because when we rise up to resist evil, and we will rise up, we'll do so with full bellies and full hearts. We might not be fine exactly, but we know who has our back, and that makes all the difference. We don't spend our resources for ourselves alone because that never satisfies. We share our resources because then we always have more than enough. Amen.
Creator, you're always amazing. Let your kingdom come in my world, in my life. You give me the food I need to live today. Give me as I forgive people that wrong me. Lead me far from temptation. Deliver me from the evil one. I look out the window, birds are composing. Not a note is out of tune or out of place. I walk to the meadow, stare at the flowers, better dressed than anyone on their wedding day. Would y'all stand if you're able? So why should I worry? Why do I freak out? God knows what I need. You know what I need. Your love is, your love is, your love is strong. Your love is, your love is, your love is strong. Your love is, your love is, your love is strong. Kingdom of the heavens is now expanding. Heal my heart, heal this broken town. Kingdom of the heavens is very treasure. Would you give yourself again, the one you found? Two things you told me, that you are strong and you love me. Yes, you love me. Your love
good time this morning? Yes. Thank you, Peace Band, Kyndall, everybody participating this morning. As a reminder, it takes all of us to do this, to physically do this, mentally do this, financially do this. So in case you forgot, there's actually 2 places in your guide that you can donate. So don't forget that. There is a clipboard right here that's going to be passed around. So it also takes all of us to run it. So there's a volunteer list going around. I know we have quite a few openings for next time we meet, which is April 13th. So if you will fill that out if you were able. Today there are Easter eggs in the back. So if you are so inclined and would love to help us out, please take a bag and fill the Easter eggs up. No chocolate, please. It melts in the sun. We've learned that the hard way. So if you'll fill those out and bring them back on the 13th of April when we're back together, or connect with Kyndall for some other ways to get those back to us. We would love them before Easter morning. But there's lots of opportunities to do that. Which the 14th is the next time we'll be back here. But before then, we have a couple things happening. But the most important, mark your calendars if you're not already there, but next week is our 5th Sunday, and we will be at Community First Village. For those of you who don't know, that is where I spend most of my days during the week. And let me tell you that at least 2 times a week, my friend and Community First Village neighbor Brian says, "When is your church coming back?" So please do not disappoint him in being there, right? I will not hear the end of it if you don't. So please be there next Sunday. There are opportunities to sign up to participate even if you can't be there. So please do that. Our schedule is a little bit different in April because of Easter. So we will be here the 2nd and 3rd Sundays instead of 2nd and 4th, which we're usually at. And then we do have a scheduling issue on Easter Sunday. So we're going to be here a little bit earlier on Easter Sunday. So be on the lookout for those. We'll have opportunities for donuts and backdrop photos at 8 a.m. and the service will be at 9 a.m. and the picnic and egg hunt will be over at the lovely O'Neill's after church, which is right down the road. And then in your inboxes right now, if you're signed up on our email list, is an announcement about our transition and our pastoral staff. So please take a look at that, and the opportunity to ask questions is open. My email is on there, and you know how to connect with the pastors as well. So check your email. If you're not on the email list, you better get on there because you're missing out on some things, right? And then one final reminder to donate. We are a 100% community participated church, community funded supported church. So we would love your help making sure we can meet and pay for these lovely staff pastors. So, and now please join. Sarah, are you coming? Is Riker coming? Riker is coming. Great, perfect. I'm taking a photo. So Riker is coming to lead us through the benediction liturgy.
I'll read the regular print and we'll all read the bold print. Lord, you are sending God. You sent your word to create. You sent Christ to reveal. You sent your spirit to empower. You sent your church to proclaim. Send us, O God, to renew the earth. Lead us by your spirit and your word. As your people, we now go. By our peace, we'll make you known. People of God, you are sent. Go in peace for peace. Amen.
Our God in heaven, hallowed be thy name, above all names. kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Sustain